This is Jake. He is an English setter, and I'm going to show you how I trim Jake. You can see he's pretty fuzzy around the ears. Hi, Jake. He's pretty fuzzy around the toes and the feet, and he's a little fuzzy around the backside. We're going to trim this up a little bit too. We're going to start with the pads of the feet. I'm going to trim the pads of Jake's feet. I have my Kenchi Flash set to a 40 blade, and I'm going to turn that on. And I'm just kind of grazing right here. I'm cheating a little bit with my Kenchi Flash. I'm eliminating a lot of the scissor work around the outside of the paw. Now I'm going to come in this pad in a V shape right here in the large pad. Don't forget there's a tendon right here, so we want to avoid that by using our clipping in a V shape action, okay? And there's one pretty little pad right there. We'll be trimming up his feet. So the same thing on the front pad. Let's just hold everything down. Anything that is falling beyond his pad, I'm going to clip off with my Kenchi Flash. Good job, buddy. Now I'm going to take my Kenchi Flash. I'm going to bring it down to a 10 blade. I'm going to trim the inside of his ears, and we're going to vent those ears. Okay, so we switched over to a 10 blade. And I'm just going to fold his ear back completely. Good, Jake. And I'm just taking off what's right at his earlobe, so to speak. Be careful of this flap right here. All dogs have it. You could catch it with your clipper. This is just venting, that's all. It's time to tidy up Jake's feet. So I'm going to bring him up a little bit. Tired, buddy? His brother's laying on the floor making all kinds of noise. I think your brother's ready to go home. He was done first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my comb and I'm just going to pull that up. I'm going to take a chunker shear. This is the Kenchi Love chunker. And I'm just scissoring off with my chunker shear. That's it. I'm going to pick the foot up and I'm going to comb down everything and just tidy up anything I missed with my Kenchi Flash that is sticking out over the bottom of his foot. So coming around to the front of the foot, brush everything up like this. I'm going to take my chunker shear and just get rid of it. I'm scissoring with my chunker. See that, guys? The same way I would if I was using a straight shear. You can use a straight shear. I just love how natural our blending shears and our chunker shears look when we choose to do that on a foot like this, which is kind of a natural foot, you know? So, I think that looks good. Good job, buddy. Now this here, see all this fuzz? You can pluck it out, which is ideal because it's just dead coat. See that? So I will give it a pluck, and then say leave me alone. And then I'll comb it up, and I'm going to take my Jonathan David lightning shear, which is a fantastic blender, and I'm just going to blend it off like it never even existed. When you blend, you move. You trim, move, trim, move, trim, move. Actually, you trim, pull. Trim, pull, move, trim, pull, move, if that makes sense. And then that gives us a nice little result right there. Front leg, just comb everything up. I'm going to take my Jonathan David blender. It's not as aggressive as the chunker. And I'm dragging and pulling, kind of. Dragging and pulling down a little bit. Just thin that out. Now we're going to let him put his foot down. And now I'm going to drag and pull in the direction that the coat lays. It just thinned it out a little bit. That's all. Now holding that foot out, I'm going to take my chunker shear, be aware of this knuckle right here, and I'm just going to kind of get rid of everything up to that knuckle. This is going to keep the bottoms of his feet nice and clean when he's out running and having a good time. Good job. Jake's a good boy. Yeah, so now you see how that looks? And now we're going to pull this foot up. We're going to take our straight shear and trim off anything that may be hanging over what we didn't get with our Kenchi Flash. on the underside of his foot. And now looking at the front of his foot, you can take a straight shear. I'm going to show you. I'm going to just scissor this off with my straight shear. It's fine to use a straight shear. It's all right, Tex, just relax. Use your brush constantly to pull the hair up. There we go. And that's good. So the more you just gently brush the hair up, the more you're going to see that the hair's going to pop up between his toes. So give it about 3 goes. Then I will take my Jonathan David lightning shear and I'll just tidy up anything there so it really looks natural, like it just kind of grew this way, you know. He's so beautiful. And there's his foot. So we have a beautiful front foot. We have a beautiful back foot. What are we going to do with this ear? We vented it, but now we got to trim it. It's a little bit woolly. I'm Amy Lee. I am a certified professional pet groomer since 2003. I am also a content creator on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel called Go Groomer, and on that channel, I bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry, one that includes pet owners as a valuable consumer. By sharing my secrets of the pet grooming industry on my YouTube channel, it allows me to give pet owners the opportunity to provide quality care for their beloved pets at home, increasing value to their pets' lives, as well as increasing the bond they share with their pet. It's pretty awesome. This is a lot, you know? The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift the ear back and I'm gonna comb everything up and out on this cheek. And in this direction, I'm going to just take it off with my chunker shear. Scissoring off the hair with my chunker. See, that was quite a bit of hair. Now we've taken off everything underneath. Actually, we could do a little bit better. It's all right, bud. There we go, it looks good. Nice and flush. These chunkers are aggressive. They take a lot of hair, which saves you time and it looks great. Okay, so now we lay the ear flat. We've trimmed that. Now I'm going to use more of a blending shear. This is the Jonathan David. And I'm just going to kind of, look how I'm moving the ear. And I'm holding it taut so that it's straightened out. Not wrinkled up, that I'm going to catch skin. And I'm just letting the hair fall and move the way it's going to want to, and I'm kind of blending it straight down into his neck. We're just thinning it down a little, really, guys. That's it. You can hold it out, trim around the edges, bring this up, trim around the edges. Be very careful. Always know where your ear leather is. See, I have my fingers right at the ear leather, so I'm quite aware where it's at. All right, let's take a look. Looking good. Comb everything up a little bit. Let's just let the ear hang and let's gently just blend away some of that bulk. Oh, are you tired there, big boy? Your brother wants to go home, honey. He totally says, hurry up, Jake, I want to go home. Yes, he does. That's what he's saying. Did you hear that? That's looking pretty good. So take your time with this because this is what really makes it look so polished and so natural. Hold the ear out. Take a look if there's anything you can just scissor off. And now let's take a look at the difference between both ears. Good, Jake. This is the ear that we just trimmed. It's okay, bud. This is the ear that needs trimmed over here. See, looking at him head on. Here's the ear that needs trimmed. Good, Jake. Here's the one that we just trimmed. And you can see how that really tidies up his whole profile. Oh, you're such a good guy. Then we're going to trim back here and the back side of Jake, and we're really just going to make it look really nice and natural. So just lifting that up, I'm going to take my chunker and I'm just going to blend away all these wings on the side, if that makes sense. Pulling towards the outside, even right under the tail. This is going to keep him clean when he goes to the bathroom. Good job, buddy. Okay, drag and pull. Be careful that you're quite aware where his skin is. And that just took a whole lot. You can see that, so that's nice. These chunkers really make short work. So now I'm gonna come in, always use your comb, guys. Comb everything up. Now I'm gonna go for more of a natural look. I'm kind of just dragging and pulling, drag and pull with my Jonathan David lightning shear. It's more of a blending shear. See this? There you go. Chunkers are a blending shear too. It's just that we kind of nicknamed them chunkers because they remove so much coat. And they look like they're chunking out the coat, you know? So drag and pull. It really makes it look natural. If your shears are not sharp, you cannot do this. So it's important to take good care of your shears. And if they're not sharp, you send them to Kenchi. So how are we looking here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, I know you've got that happy tail going on there, big boy. Comb up and take a look and see what we need to kind of eliminate, you know. Not all of it, just some of it. Right in here. We need to even that out. We need to blend this together so it looks nice. This is just to keep him looking good and keep everything away from where he does his business. You don't have to do this. A lot of people prefer them to look very natural. Good, Jake. And that's just fine too. And to be honest, if he were my dog, I probably wouldn't be trimming back here. I prefer that. I'm weird like that. I prefer them to look very natural. Good, Jake. He has such a gorgeous coat too. I'm going to show you what we're going to do to trim his tail properly. We don't need to trim much, but it's very important how we do trim it. All right, so to trim his tail, a straight shear. Good job, buddy. You pretty much want the tail close to this hock, his ankle, his hock bone right here. And that's actually how long his tail kind of is. This is the tailbone. So slide your finger down, feel where that tailbone is, and you'll be able to feel it. Jake, it's right there. Good boy, scoot up. So by doing that, make sure you're fully aware where the tailbone is. It's right there. So I'm going to trim right below that, about 1 inch. And that actually sets the length of his tail perfectly and appropriately. So when his tail's out, it angles down right to the hock there. It looks really nice. Now the only thing that's left to do over here, if he had a lot of furnishings hanging down here, like it was really long, you really want it to kind of angle into the elbow bone to make him look symmetrical. So to do that, now he's almost right where he should be, but find the last rib of your dog, just behind the last rib. That's pretty much the tuck up. From that, come forward towards that elbow, like this. So like I said, there's not really much for me to take off here on Jake. It's perfectly where it needs to be. Hold this little foot out as if he was taking a step, and then you'll see if there's anything else that you can tidy up there. It's that simple. Don't hold his foot up high. That's going to change the lay of the skirt, see? You want to just, like he's taking a step. Just like that. Beautiful job, Jake.